What's up, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to the channel, where we break down all things black and gold. Here, we work just like our team, constantly improving, constantly grinding, and always chasing greatness. That's what it means to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that's what this 2025 offseason has been all about. So before we dive into today's breaking news, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button, and if you're new here or haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and join the most passionate Steelers community on YouTube. Your support helps us bring you the best, most in-depth Steelers content every single day. Let's get into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers have already had one of the most aggressive and fascinating off-seasons in recent memory. We've seen a complete transformation on both sides of the ball. New faces, big names, bold moves, and yet, it looks like Omar Khan might not be finished. With training camp right around the corner and preseason looming, Steelers fans were hit with some unexpected and potentially game-changing news. NFL insider Ian Rappaport reported that three-time Pro Bowl safety Quandra Diggs has officially been cleared to return for the 2025 season. That's right, Diggs is healthy, he's available, and he's still sitting in free agency. And with Pittsburgh still having questions at the safety position, this might be the golden opportunity to complete the puzzle on what could become one of the NFL's most dominant defenses. Let's rewind for a second. One of the most shocking moves of the offseason came when Pittsburgh traded away All-Pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, a move that stunned fans and analysts alike. For years, Fitzpatrick was the backbone of the Steelers secondary. But Omar Khan had a vision, and he acted quickly in response. The Steelers brought in Yolan Ramsey and Darius Slay, two seasoned veterans with multiple Pro Bowls under their belts. Add in rising star Joey Porter Jr., and suddenly Pittsburgh boasts one of the most intimidating cornerback groups in the league. But here's the issue: who's locking down the back end at safety? Right now, the projected starters are Juan Thornhill and Deshaun Elliott. Two solid players, but neither brings the pedigree or game-changing presence that Fitzpatrick offered. And behind them, depth is thin. One injury, and the Steelers could find themselves scrambling. Let's talk about Quandra Diggs. The 32-year-old veteran is a three-time Pro Bowler, a former captain, and one of the most respected leaders in the league. He's known for his instincts, ball-hawking ability, and versatility, having played both free and strong safety roles at a high level. He's also a tone-setter, a communicator, a guy who knows how to lead a secondary and keep everyone on the same page, something Pittsburgh will need after all the defensive turnover this offseason. Yes, Diggs is coming off injury. Yes, he's over 30. But here's the reality: he's been cleared, he's available, and he's not going to break the bank. The Steelers have cap space, and this is the exact kind of low-risk, high-reward signing that could put this team over the top. Let's break it down from a strategic standpoint. Omar Khan has shown he's not afraid to be aggressive, but also smart. He's balanced building for the future with maintaining a win-now approach. Adding Diggs doesn't mess with either of those goals. Here's why this move would be perfect. Affordable veteran, Diggs won't command top-tier safety money. The Steelers can likely sign him on a one-year deal for $4 to $5 million. Immediate impact: he's experienced. He doesn't need to learn how to be a pro. He can step in and contribute day one. Leadership bonus: Diggs has been a captain. He brings composure, maturity, and accountability, things you want in a young locker room with rising talent. Insurance policy: if Thornhill struggles or Elliott gets hurt, you have a reliable safety ready to step in without blowing up the scheme. Omar, if you're listening, this is your move. One of the biggest headlines of the offseason was the contract standoff between TJ Watt and the front office. As you know, Watt was heading into the final year of his deal and seriously considered holding out of training camp if a new extension wasn't reached. But thanks to the steady hand of Mike Tomlin, that drama never got out of control. Team insider Gary Dulac revealed that Tomlin played a critical role behind the scenes, pushing ownership and the front office to just get it done. Watt signed a massive 3-year extension worth $123 million, making him the highest-paid non-QB in the league, and now, with Watt locked in, the defense is taking shape. The front seven looks ferocious. The corners are elite. And if the Steelers can plug that one last hole at safety, they might have the most complete defense in the NFL. Let's pause and appreciate Mike Tomlin for a second. We talk a lot about X's and O's, about wins and playoff droughts, but we sometimes forget why players love playing for this guy. Watt himself has said that Tomlin is the only coach he'd want to play for, and actions speak louder than words. The moment Tomlin got involved, the deal got done. That matters, folks. In a league where coaches burn bridges or lose locker rooms, Tomlin continues to inspire loyalty, and that loyalty shows up on Sundays. If Quandra Diggs joins this locker room, don't be surprised if it's Tomlin's influence that helps seal the deal. Players respect him. They want to be part of what he's building. Steelers Nation, here's the bottom line. The roster is already stacked. Rodgers is in at QB. DK Metcalf joins the offense. The O-line is rebuilt. The defense reinforced with elite veterans and young studs. But this one last piece, Quandra Diggs, could complete the masterpiece. He's available. He's healthy. He's affordable. And he fills the exact need that could otherwise haunt this team in December or January. Omar Khan has surprised us all off-season. Don't be shocked if he does it again before training camp. The Pittsburgh Steelers are officially reporting to training camp on Wednesday. And while anticipation for the 2025 NFL season is building, something unexpected has stolen the spotlight. Those funky new throwback alternate uniforms, the team dropped them Monday with a bold new look that pays homage to the 1933 Steelers jerseys. We're talking yellow helmets, retro-style jerseys, and, well, some controversial pants. And guess who didn't hold back his thoughts? Veteran defensive leader Cameron Hayward threw some serious shade on the latest episode of his Not Just Football podcast. Here's the quote that's got everyone talking. Yellow helmet, check. Jersey, check. I like the jersey, but pants. XXXX. Those pants, man, they look like throw-up, Hayward said bluntly. And I love that we're trying something new, but this was the problem we had with the Bumblebees. I think the Bumblebees would have looked fire if you had black pants. I think this jersey would have looked fire if you had black pants. Or even, I hate to go full yellow, but you could have done some remix in there as well. Yikes. That's straight from one of the most respected voices in the locker room. And when asked to grade the uniforms, Hayward didn't sugarcoat it. He gave them a C. That's not the grade you want when trying to hype up a new look for the team. Debut against the Packers with a TWIS according to the team's official website. These new alternate throwbacks will make their debut in Week 8 against the Green Bay Packers. And here's the plot twist. That game might feature Aaron Rodgers starting at quarterback, facing off against his old team for the first time as a Steeler. Talk about drama. The uniforms might be getting mixed reviews. But that Week 8 game just became must-watch TV. Imagine Rodgers in a yellow helmet and retro jersey throwing bombs on the same field as his former squad. Whether you love or hate the uniforms, the marketing around this matchup writes itself. AC for the offseason too? Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The uniforms weren't the only thing to receive a C grade this week. ESPN's Seth Walder dropped his offseason grades and gave the Steelers' entire 2025 offseason the exact same grade, AC, and his reasoning. He believes the Steelers are an aging team taking one final swing at contention before a full-blown rebuild. Here's what Walder had to say. Pittsburgh's entire offseason has resulted in an old team trying to take one last swing, he wrote. It probably won't work, and next year will be the time for a true rebuild. That's a tough pill to swallow. But Walder wasn't totally negative. He pointed out that the Steelers managed to set themselves up with compensatory picks in rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 for the 2026 draft. So even if this gamble doesn't pay off, the front office is keeping one eye on the future. Now let's be real. Steelers fans, everything comes down to Aaron Rodgers. Walder doesn't think Rodgers will turn the Steelers into legitimate contenders. But he does admit that signing Rodgers at such a low cost made sense. The most likely outcome of the Rodgers signing by far is disappointment and a wasted season, he wrote. But the upside remains, and there's more of it with Rodgers than with any of the Steelers' other realistic QB options. Which is why the signing made some sense, especially at the extremely cheap cost Rodgers commanded. That's a fair point. Rodgers might be 41. But if there's anyone who can take a roster of gritty veterans and light up the scoreboard, it's a guy with 4 MVPs. Yes, it's a risk, but it's a calculated one. The real issue? Public PRCPIO? This all boils down to optics. When a respected leader like Cameron Hayward publicly calls out the uniforms, it creates a ripple effect. When national analysts grade your offseason as average, it puts pressure on everyone, from Mike Tomlin to Omar Khan to Aaron Rodgers himself. The Steelers are walking a fine line between bold experimentation and desperate nostalgia. The new uniforms are a throwback. Rodgers is a throwback. Even the off-season strategy feels like a throwback to the win-now mindset of the mid-2010s. But here's the thing, Steelers Nation. Sometimes that old-school mentality works. Sometimes, when everyone's doubting you, that's when you hit the hardest. Now it's your turn. Steelers fans, what do you think? Should the Steelers make a move for Quandra Diggs? Or do you think they're fine at safety with Thornhill and Elliott? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one and love hearing your takes. And hey, if you're fired up for this defense, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any breaking Steelers news. We've got training camp updates, exclusive interviews, and in-depth analysis all season long. Let's keep building. Let's keep believing. And as always, here we go.